I am Taylor Barnes. I'm a research graduate assistant at University of Nebraska-Lincoln in the animal science department. The biggest reason I chose to go on to my master's for my undergrad was any career I'd even thought of or considered required a minimum of a master's. The thing that sparks your excitement the most is the thing that you kind of tend to go in towards your master's. You're going to spend 2 years completely immersed in it, so you have to make sure you like that topic. So physiology has always been a calling for me and has always been my biggest area of interest. Physiology is just how the body is able to work. Our lab is studying mostly fetal programming. We're looking at things that happen while they're still inside the mother and how that will affect and how they grow and change throughout the rest of their life, specifically looking mostly at muscle and how muscle is able to metabolize glucose. Workday always changes. It's never like a typical workday. It kind of depends what we have going in the lab, what's going on with our animals. The only thing that kind of stays constant is certain weekly meetings or class. It might be a day of a big experiment and you're going to be in the lab all day, and that all just depends on what your experiment is. Kind of depends if it's a surgery day or if it's just a day we need to, clean the pens and feed the animals and stuff like that. And a lot of days, I have a mix. In the morning, I'll have to do chores, feed all the sheep, do something like that, and then I'll have I'll come and grow cells in the lab, which is kind of nice to actually have a mix of everything, and I kind of get to see all aspects of how the animal's working. Data collection is kind of the fun part. That's the part where we actually get to do a study or work with an animal or grow some cells. That's the kind of interactive part. Data entry is honestly mostly sitting somewhere and I can enter all my data into the computer. But it's really the collection and the analysis that makes science really cool. We definitely work together a lot as the lab. Our advisor, Dustin, a lot of times he says everything we're doing is for the lab. I'm also a graduate teaching assistant for ASI 240, the anatomy and physiology of animals. I've always loved teaching, and growing up at 4-H, I did teaching, a lot of it. Mostly, I think that if you have a lot of knowledge, you should always share it, and I love mentoring other people and seeing them finally that aha moment and seeing things click. I've always been interested in science since as far back as I can remember. Science in some way has always fascinated me. It happened to be in research is where I ended up. My favorite part of being in research is probably those big aha moments and when you get to find out these really cool novel things that nobody's been able to find before. So you have all this work and you're doing all these things that at one point don't really make sense. You're just I'm feeding sheep, I'm growing some cells, I'm putting some stuff in with a pipette, and then all of a sudden it becomes real meaning and real data. Biggest advice is if you're interested in science and research to take those classes and talk to those professors, especially when you get to college, but even when you're in high school, if you can talk to your science teacher, do whatever you can do. If there's 4-H or FFA or anything that you're able to go and do things and learn new things, especially in a science field, I think that's always the best option for you to do. So it's been a really neat experience, and it's really cool to be in research.